Why am I still contributing to this organization after serving on the board? And I'd like to tell you how I became involved with the board. I went on the walk to Emmaus in 2002, and that's a spiritual retreat for those of you that don't know. It's a weekend where you kind of rededicate your life to serving Jesus Christ. And after that meeting, I decided to remove one piece of stress from my life. I decided that if anybody asked me to do anything for Jesus Christ or God, I would immediately answer yes. I wasn't going to ever go home at night and fret over whether I should be on that committee or whether I should be an usher in church or whether I should do anything to spread the glory of God. And it wasn't long after that that I got a call from Charles, who asked me if I would meet with him one day, and that's how I became involved with the organization. And why do I continue to support this organization? I just want to tell you about some of the experiences that I think this organization does. I think they're saving lives. I'm going to try not to get emotional about this, but I haven't thought about it in a long time. But the second funeral that I remember going to, I was a pallbearer. I was 13 years old, and my brother Clifton was a pallbearer as well at one of our best friends' funeral. He took his own life at the age of 15. And I went out to visit his grave today because I still see his mother regularly, and I talk about it. I started talking to her about it 25 years ago, and she said, Frank, nobody ever talks about David. Nobody mentions his name. So we all know that parents who've lost children want to keep talking about them. All right, David was an incredible guy. He had bright red hair, and I told his mother that when Shaun White performed in the Olympics, I said he would be just like Shaun White. There's no telling what this guy would have done. I've told my brother Clifton he would have climbed Mount Everest. He might not have been a doctor, he might not have been a lawyer, but he would have done all these great things. He was unbelievable, but he had one moment of weakness. And we don't know what happened. We don't know why he did it. Fast forward about 35 years ago, my sister Eva and my brother Clifton are over here tonight. Our first cousin was a freshman at Chapel Hill. He was a Moorhead Scholar candidate, Eagle Scout. Took his own life his freshman year at Carolina. To this day, we don't know why. Nobody ever knew why. No telling what that guy would have done. His father was a brilliant surgeon. He had a moment of weakness at Chapel Hill. Nobody knows what. If you guys had a chance to see him, the other thing we're doing is we're saving, you guys are saving families. I don't know if you remember, in the old office there was a little area where the kids could sit while their parents may have come for counseling. And I used to, at the end of a board meeting, I'd always ask Mary Neal, can you share a good news story without violating HIPAA rules? And it would always be something about a family. And I think everybody in this room agrees that a child should be raised by both parents in a loving household. And if seeking counseling can make a healthy household, that's what we're doing tonight. We're supporting that, we're funding that. And then the third thing we're doing, among other things, is we're restoring relationships and careers. I think you've told us several times when I was on the board that people were saving their jobs because they wanted to blow up at their boss. And they had to work with coping. So those are three great things that the organization is doing. Let me tell you another God wink. I call it a God wink. I befriended a gentleman who moved here from New Jersey about 2 years ago, and he lost his son who had been battling a drug addiction for years, about 16 months ago, I think. He didn't die of drug, he was actually in an accident as a result of his drug use. And last week, he called me and said, Frank, my wife is seeking some grief counseling. Do you know where I can send her to go? Now, is that strange? He didn't know I was on this board. He doesn't know I was associated with this organization. And I said, wow, that is just great. I've got the place. And I don't know if he's called you, but I hope he has. I think he has. But I'm going to tell you what. You're talking about we're no longer a startup. This thing took off. Charles, I was amazed at how quickly this organization took off. I think is one of the greatest successes in the history of Scotland County. I really do. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, we were getting hours. I mean, we went to 1,000 hours in no time, didn't we? So the need is there. So, and that's what your pledges are doing tonight, is funding an unbelievable organization. I put it up there with Zamir. Zamir brought the attitude of this county up. I think Zamir did more for this county, but this organization is right up there with him. Yeah, at least that's the way I see it. But so I'm gonna go back and sweep up the mess on aisle 5. Let's just say this: God is great. We'll all agree on that, I think. Oh, of course we will. How about a cold drink on a hot summer day is good? And many of us are living in a stressful world. Many of us living in this stressful world can benefit from counseling at some point in our lives. We all agree on that. And I want to thank Charles Wentz for your energy of creating this organization, Mary Neal, and all of the staff. I want to thank all the past and current board members. And I want to thank all of you in this room for supporting this organization for all these many years. And I hope you'll continue to tonight. So thank you very much for my time. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.